We have been reporting on coronavirus patients with a mysterious ailment known as long haul syndrome. It turns out up to 30% of people infected with COVID have not fully recovered. On the road to recovery tonight, KPIX5's Juliette Goodrich reports that they may finally have a shot at relief.
The Bay Area outperforms most of California when it comes to getting vaccinated against COVID. Now the very shot aimed to prevent the disease may for some turn out to be a potential treatment. During the very early days of the pandemic, Bruce Wheeler from Marin County discovered he was infected with the new virus. He had just returned from Europe.
The symptoms went away in about 10 days. And I felt some fatigue.
A few months later, a negative test. Bruce felt better. He thought it was over, but the nightmare was just beginning.
I began to get a series of new symptoms,
including shortness of breath, extreme fatigue, brain fog, and
headaches. It was like two daggers right into my temple.
The retired banker is one of many thousands of people in the U.S. who are suffering from what's called long haul syndrome. With it, the virus seems to disappear, but in its wake, it leaves a constellation of persistent, debilitating health problems.
I'd be up for an hour or two and need to go back to bed.
Another long hauler.
I don't feel like me anymore.
Branding and marketing consultant Laura Gross. Her upbeat personality took a dark turn into a deep sadness.
I'm a pretty happy little chappy. I'm not a sad person. So it took me away from me.
Laura tested positive a year ago. The virus then appeared to disappear. That's when the terrifying symptoms began.
I had joint pains. I had muscle aches. I had acute confusion. I could not think straight.
More than a year later, both Bruce and Laura became eligible to get a COVID vaccine.
I gave it a shot.
Within 72 hours, the inexplicable.
I woke up and I'm back.
Laura's brain fog lifted, as did her mood.
I couldn't believe it. I had so much energy, and I was back in my head again.
It's been a very pleasant surprise.
Bruce was starting to feel better, but after getting vaccinated, the improvements accelerated. Better memory and fewer headaches. The once avid alpine hiker felt hope.
For the first time in over a year, I can now go out and not hike mountains, but hike with inclines.
No one knew if a COVID vaccine would exacerbate these problems.
We were prepared for every terrible side effect known to man.
Diana Barron heads up Survivor Corps. Members are COVID survivors who are highly motivated to share data with researchers.
We were able to do a poll.
Among 900 long haulers after vaccination, 14% felt worse, 45% felt no difference, but 41% felt better, reporting slight relief to complete resolution.
You could have knocked me over with a feather when we found out that people were actually improving.
It's really interesting.
Dr. Ann Liu is an infectious disease expert at Stanford. She told KPIX5 some long haulers treated at the medical center are reporting the same benefit. No one knows why.
I think it's all hypotheses and speculation.
The vaccine could be clearing out leftover viral particles hiding out in the body or resetting a malfunctioning immune system. It might also be doing a better job at creating antibodies.
We do have some evidence to suggest that the antibodies in response to the vaccine may be higher levels and better quality than the antibodies made from a natural infection.
This demands a lot of study.
Infectious disease expert Dr. John Schwartzberg at Cal says while there's no scientific proof, there's no time to waste. Long haulers need help. Without treatment,
and it could lead to an awful lot of people not functioning well in society and needing a lot of medical resources.
As for Laura and Bruce,
I knew that there was a light out there at the end of the tunnel. And now I feel I can almost see that light.
And that's what I have to say. Give it a shot.
Survivor Corps is now working with researchers to better understand this surprising benefit. In San Francisco, Juliette Goodrich, KPIX5.
Now, both Laura and Bruce felt crummy after they got vaccinated, and while they're not cured, they say they are grateful.